The room went quiet the moment she laughed. Not the soft kind, the sharp one that cuts glass. Maybe this will explain why you're another man's mistake in our family. Her words landed before the gift did. A slim white box slid across the table toward me, smug as a confession. My birthday candles were still burning, wax dripping. Everyone watched me instead of the flames, waiting to see if I'd crack. I smiled. That was my first mistake, or maybe my first weapon. I didn't open the box that night. I thanked her, I hugged her, I let her believe the insult had passed through me without leaving a mark. But it stayed. It rooted itself deep. Not because I doubted who I was, but because she wanted me to. That kind of cruelty is never spontaneous. It's rehearsed. We weren't always like this. Once she braided my hair on the stairs while we waited for our parents to come home. Once she slipped me answers during exams. Once she called me her anchor. Blood does that. It convinces you the knife won't turn in your hand. But money changes the angle of a blade. Our parents' estate was old, land, businesses, quiet power. And when our father got sick, something shifted in her. She started asking questions she'd never asked before. About wills, about beneficiaries, about me. That's when the jokes started. Little ones at first. Comments about how I didn't look like him, how I had my mother's eyes too much, how secrets always rot families from the inside. I noticed patterns before I found proof. Whispers that stopped when I entered a room, emails sent late at night, meetings I wasn't invited to. I didn't confront her. I listened. I watched. I learned. The DNA test sat in my drawer for weeks, then months, unopened, waiting. I let her wonder if I'd taken it. Silence is a better punishment than denial. When I finally did take the test, it wasn't for answers. It was for leverage. The result came back exactly as I expected. I was my father's child. No surprises, no scandal, just truth, clean and documented. I scanned it, archived it, locked it away. Then I started making calls. The estate lawyer first, casual, curious. I asked questions the way someone ignorant would. He answered the way professionals do, carefully but completely. I learned more in 30 minutes than she realized I ever could. Then the accountant, then the trustee, then the second trustee she didn't know existed. My father had been thorough, almost paranoid, and quietly I began to understand why. There were clauses in the will, not obvious ones, ethical ones, moral ones, conditions tied to character, to conduct, to integrity among heirs. A failsafe for betrayal, for manipulation, for attempts to discredit another beneficiary. She'd tripped every wire. I didn't expose her immediately. I waited. I let her confidence grow. I let her tell relatives I'd probably find out soon. I let her look at me with pity dressed as superiority. Then I scheduled the meeting. The lawyer called it urgent. I called it perfect. We sat across from each other in the conference room months later. Same sister, same smile, different power dynamic. The walls were glass, no place to hide. The lawyer didn't look at her when he spoke. He looked at me. He explained the clauses, the evidence, the communications, the documented attempts to undermine my legitimacy, the psychological harassment, the intention to influence inheritance through deception. I watched her posture collapse in stages, confusion, denial, fear. When she finally spoke, her voice cracked. "This is a mistake." That's when I slid the DNA results across the table. No words, just paper. She stared at it like it might bite. The lawyer finished calmly. Due to her actions, her share of the estate was reduced to the legal minimum. Mine absorbed the remainder. The trusts were already amended, signed, filed, unchangeable. She turned to me then, finally, truly. "How long?" she asked. I leaned back, met her eyes. "Since my birthday." The silence that followed was surgical. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't insult her. I didn't need to. The humiliation had nothing to do with volume. It was precision, timing, letting her understand that every step she'd taken had led her here. She left the room smaller than she entered it. I stayed. People think revenge is loud, explosive, messy. It isn't. Real revenge is patient. It's administrative. It happens in boardrooms and files and signatures. I didn't destroy her life. I let her destroy her own assumptions. Now when I think back to that birthday, I don't feel anger. I feel gratitude. That gift forced her hand, exposed her intent, gave me the time I needed to move quietly while she laughed too soon. Some betrayals demand tears. Others demand planning. I chose planning. And when the estate became mine, it wasn't just wealth I inherited. It was clay. Blood doesn't make family. Loyalty does. She taught me that, and I made sure the lesson was permanent.